Hey guys, it's HelpingHans and bringing you my reaction as well as Shred's reaction. That's the regiment I'm part of in Foxholes to the new Foxhole Update 59, where the Siege Camp, the developers of Foxhole, announced some awesome new changes coming to the game Foxhole with some infantry updates, as well as a sneak preview of the new airborne content coming in the summer of 2025. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. We are back for our, well, kind of like biannually almost at this point with our dev streams, but I think we did a couple this year, didn't we?
I think we do a few.
Yeah, my joke just doesn't work anymore. It's not even like every 2 months now. Anyway, how's it going, everybody? We're here and excited to show you some of the features that we will be working on, or well, we have been working on, that we'll be launching with our next update. There's lots to talk about, so I'm gonna just kind of hand it off to Mark really early here, and we'll get started and show you some cool stuff.
Yeah. So welcome to the 2024 annual stream. It's fun to do these every year. This is sort of the big event that we work towards throughout the year, even though we have the other updates, and we're excited to be back again. Last year we had naval warfare, and the previous year we had Inferno. And while this year's annual update will not be at the scale of those updates, as we mentioned, rest assured the future of Foxhole is bright, and there's a lot to talk about. So we'll just get right into it. But before we start, I did want to talk about something, a little neat side thing that we've been working on here a couple of months ago.
Oh, what's this?
Well, maybe more than a couple of months ago.
Got it all embroidered badges.
The team had pitched the idea of doing a bit more on the merch side. It's not really been our thing so far, but he had this idea of making patches that he was really passionate about. And we talked about it. I wasn't entirely convinced.
Oh, stop wasting my time, Mark Foot.
I'm actually gonna buy those.
Anyway,
That's the funny
we
thing.
prototyped a few of them, and they turned out to be pretty cool. We gave away some of these for the art contest.
JD is not impressed.
Sort of as a prototype.
Colonials look so
step,
stupid.
We're going to be producing a limited run. Which will
looks like a dinner plate
later this year.
Actually,
there's going to be 4 variants initially. There's going to be the colonial flag.
It's just a small patch for your
warden
something,
flag,
your clothing.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is the only patch that they're offering this war.
That's the only patch.
Okay, no.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Look forward to them. If you guys like them, we'll consider doing more of this in the future. And if you don't, we're gonna have a bunch of them sitting around the warehouse. And
I'm way too loud compared to the stream.
Matt's house, and he can use them as coasters or something.
Sounds good.
So yeah, no, but seriously, if you like this sort of thing, be on the lookout. There'll be a limited run at first, and we'll see how it goes.
Let me know how that is.
So next thing is to get into a review
Is that
of
better?
the roadmap.
Let me know if that's better.
For some context here, especially those that joined us this year. The past 2 years, we did big expansion-style updates for Foxhole. We did Inferno, where we added trains, facilities, fire, and then naval warfare. We added
I think it's going to be planes, boys.
Obviously,
why would they add a weather station just for?
And after naval, we said in the dev blog we're going to take a bit of a break from the big updates and instead focus on refinement of existing
tie in with the weather station.
That's what we've done this
year.
It's
going to be planes
in the 3 updates.
I hope it's not
and
planes,
that brings
but
us to the 4th update now.
It's probably going to be
and final one of the year. And you know, like I said, the biggest difference between this annual update and the last 2 years is this annual update is also going to be focused more on going back to refine existing features.
Good.
But that's not to worry.
Existing features.
The next expansion.
Which countries is going off in Europe or America?
And
Toronto.
have been
Toronto, Ontario.
Quite nicely over there. So we hope to talk
North.
about that.
Canada.
In the not too distant future.
City.
So without further ado,
My home
this year's
province.
annual release
All right, quit talking.
will be the infantry update, and that is an overhaul of infantry gameplay to make it more tactical, more team-oriented. So I'm gonna hand the reins over to you, Max, to talk about some of the goals for the infantry
aiming
update.
and use of aiming. Okay, maybe they'll fix the fucking shadow dancing bullshit that we've been seeing.
This is the infantry update that people have been asking for many years. The last time we touched infantry, we implemented like the cover system. So those of you who don't remember who have always seen cover as being a thing in this game.
This is a good start.
That's how long it's been since we've really done a focus on the infantry updates. So these are the main goals. We wanted to increase just basically the play space of infantry. And we wanted to integrate facilities, all of the existing systems
Increase
for our
infantry
game. We wanted to bring
survivability.
them all into infantry and get this
I'm
all up
worried
to
that
speed.
is this going to make
I want
flask rushes even
to
stronger because infantry would be
preface
harder to
this
deal
with,
with.
you're going to see a lot of stuff in this update that might not seem directly related to infantry, but I want to assure you that all of the changes that we select, or almost all of the changes that we selected in this update, we did it with the
Well, imagine if you
intention
could make
of
gas
bringing
grenades
the
in a
infantry
facility.
play space into the forefront. That means changing some of our
Interesting.
existing systems around, stuff that might seem completely unrelated. Again, we'll try our best to explain our reasoning for making changes there.
Infantry gameplay, here we go. Weapon shouldering.
All right, the first thing is weapon shouldering. So this GIF you're watching is an extreme example, but the idea is if you're low on stamina, your weapon will shoulder slightly slower.
Oh, okay.
Dynamic stagger. So no longer is it basically a one or nothing. If you get shot, the more damage that is dealt to the player, the slower they'll go. So it's more.
This is a good
so
shadow
it's
dance nerf
like
for this
linear.
weapon
What gun
shouldering.
is he
So
holding?
light weapons like pistols won't stagger you as much. There is
That's
a
a
new
new
modifier
gun.
as well. So some
Yeah,
weapons
probably,
will just
yeah.
stagger you.
That looks like a
more
new
than
gun as well.
others,
Yeah,
but,
good point.
It looks like a mini lament.
So like stopping power has like an
Ah,
effect on like
skin.
how much you're staggered.
Yeah, it's definitely a new gun.
Yep,
Good spot.
exactly.
I do have a quick question about the weapon
Pistol nerf.
shouldering. Now, does this impact different weapons differently, or is it similar?
Yeah, similar. So the different weapons will be shouldered faster than others, like the assault weapons, the SMGs. They'll shoulder much quicker, and will be impacted less by stamina. And again, I want to reiterate that it looks really slow in this GIF, but that's the extreme example. We don't expect it to change your moment-to-moment gameplay that much. So like, don't expect like a huge change in the way that you run and take cover and take shots.
Right. This visual here was designed to
Notice
show
that
you
they're
that
all
it can
ones
be
in the
slow,
example. Yeah,
but
so
this is not
far.
how regular gameplay is going to be in an average.
Bias.
That's like the worst case.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
Oh, look, another warden.
Vaulting improvements. This is something we've just
Oh,
been
and
trying to do
concrete
for a long
husks.
time. Some of
Please.
our structures were difficult to vault. They
Yeah,
just
like
didn't
concrete
really work
husks.
very well.
Oh,
So we've just gone across the board and
That's
improved
what
it.
Husky's getting out of.
We also added a little
Perfect.
feature where if you hold down the space bar, then it will
So it looks
attempt to
deeper as well.
vault when you are able to. So
Yeah.
you don't have to spam the space bar when you're trying to get over something.
Oh, that's better.
Right.
Machine gun suppression. So the way suppression works in our game right now, once you are suppressed, you don't regain your accuracy once you've lost it, but you don't actually lose accuracy for being suppressed. So we've changed machine guns to be the opposite of that. So what happens now is if you're getting shot at by a machine gun, your accuracy will get worse. That reticle at the end of your aim line, that will bloom and get bigger if you're getting shot at by a machine gun.
That's
So this
good.
will enable all of the machine guns, anything that uses machine gun ammo, this includes like tanks, will now be able to more effectively suppress an enemy before, say, an attack.
Can you get suppressed while you're using push gun?
Infantry Encumbrance. I will explain. I'll talk more about this a little bit later, but we've made some pretty sweeping changes to Infantry Encumbrance. And same goes for the next slide, which is the stamina.
I think it's only was
changes.
FMG and
I'll talk about this a little bit more later.
Stamina changes. Muddy vehicles.
Muddy
Oh,
vehicles.
God,
We
here
promised
go.
this in the last update. Vehicles can now get
Looks
muddy
cool,
when they
though.
run through puddles. This is important for anybody
Wow.
coming, like who may
Lift
not
off the
have
bridge
played this
stuff
most recent
again.
patch. Vehicles don't get muddy all the
More
time
stuff,
anymore. You
doing
have to
more.
drive through a puddle, and that will get you muddy. So this means that you could avoid getting muddy by avoiding puddles. So this affects rainstorms and the weather system.
Tanks as well?
For the muddy vehicles, it affects
Stealth
the
changes.
encumbrance on the vehicle,
Probably.
Which I'll talk again a little bit more later with the infantry update,
So we're
or
stuck
with
in
the
mud
infantry
for the rest
encumbrance.
of our life.
One thing that's not really featured in this
Yes.
GIF is you can also clear the mud off the vehicle by splashing water on it. So you can
Oh.
throw buckets of water on it.
The
and
fire
splash
trucks
it
have
with,
another utility.
fire trucks, and that will clear the mud.
Car wash, baby.
Stealth changes. So this has been a long time coming. When you're in a bush and you take a shot,
Oh,
you'll now
finally.
appear
Jesus
for
Christ.
for a moment. So you're not just there's not just bullets flying out of bushes anymore.
Oh, that's good. That
There's
makes more
one
sense.
nice little change here that we changed for vehicles. If you're in a vehicle, you won't see infantry popping up like this. You'll still see it the way it always has, where it's difficult to tell exactly where the shot's coming from. So if you're in a tank, you won't see the infantryman pop out. If you're in an open-topped seat, then you will. So somebody like a commander might have a better visibility on these players that are popping in and out of concealment than
That's
say the gunner
PTS
inside the front,
inducing.
inside the tank.
So with the
Green ash changes. So green ash is much different now. It no longer hits you and staggers you immediately and is essentially a death sentence. Instead, green ash will drain your stamina first. So even if you don't have a gas mask, you're not going to die outright. It'll drain your stamina until you reach
That's
0,
awesome for
and
the
then if you don't have a gas
I
mask,
fucking
you'll
love
die.
that.
Or
Gas is
you'll
useless.
start to take damage, same as before, but again, no staggering.
Gas no.
The gas mask also, we made it lighter. It's a little less like of a burden to equip to your character, but
Good.
it reduces your stamina regeneration overall. So you
don't
won't
try and swim
regenerate.
with one.
So it's a small stamina regeneration for wearing the gas mask.
right, but there's a kind of a nerf.
Grenades. We also nerfed the grenade range. We felt this was suppressing, or this was
Does that include
oppressive for
flasks?
the infantry experience. There was just grenades flying everywhere,
Better include
especially at night.
flasks.
So their range has been dramatically reduced, and
Hundred
they now
percent.
dropped if you have primed them. So if you're trying to throw a grenade and then somebody shoots you, the grenade will drop on the ground and then go off.
That's
This
nice.
might have a disproportionate effect on things like HE grenade rushes. So just be aware of that.
Everybody getting weapons locked, bro. Everybody getting weapons locked.
Let's move on to the nitty gritty.
Gonna be ping issues for sure.
All right. So I promised you guys earlier that I would talk a little bit more about stamina and encumbrance changes. So this is it. If you want to, so in infantry today, if you want to become, there's 3 things you're going to have to master to get good at infantry gameplay. The first is you're going to have to manage your stamina now. This is far more important now than it was before. It's important for your shouldering times. It's important for your sprint speeds and green ash attacks and other things. You're going to have to learn the weapons. Because of these new stats with dynamic stagger and weapon shouldering, because there's more modifiers on a per weapon basis, you're going to want to master different weapons for different situations. And the last is encumbrance. Encumbrance is going to have a much more important role on your moment-to-moment combat, which I'll talk about in the next slide. But if you could pull up the graphs, there we go. I added some graphs. Oh, can we go back to the graph?
Trying to go back. There we go.
So these are the 2 really important changes you guys need to understand for how infantry has changed. And if you're going to give any feedback, you need to understand this. So pay attention. The way that stamina used to work is that the higher stamina you had, the faster you would go. And then as you lost stamina, you would lose speed. We've shifted this graph up slightly. So stamina is more important, or you'll get more speed for the same amount of stamina than you did before. The trade-off here in the second graph.
Scorps, thanks for 20 months, bud. Cheers, man.
Encumbrance now affects your stamina. So in the past, you could wear up to 99% or 0%. Your stamina would be the same every time you sprinted. It didn't matter. Instead, now encumbrance will reduce the amount of stamina, or it will increase how quickly you lose stamina and also how fastly you regenerate it.
Right. Okay.
All right. So as hopefully you guys get that.
Yeah, I think
if
that makes
you don't,
sense.
we're gonna go over it some more in the Discord later in the Reddit Q&A. So
far,
here's
just
the encumbrance
infantry
changes.
getting nerfed.
This is perhaps more important, but could you actually pull up the slides? You guys can read the bullet points on your own. They are important, but
no longer has
they're
any
not.
effect on player movement
To
speed.
carry on with this description, what we've changed is that in that first graph, everybody sprints at the same speed now. So many of you guys might have noticed that if you were under 17% encumbrance or some magical number, you would run significantly faster than somebody over that percent. This was exploited to great effect for people who are doing like bayonet rushes, who would just equip like a rifle, an ammo, and a bayonet. Now everybody runs at the same speed, regardless of how much stamina or how much encumbrance you have.
What?
Huh? But then
That's
that
stupid.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
they are
until,
consistency
of course,
dancing.
the weight.
Like,
I don't think that's
everybody
a good
running
idea.
the same speed,
But
but
it's
if you're
important to note
encumbered,
this
you
first
just run
graph
out of stamina
is
sooner.
about sprinting in a short distance. So this is like
I don't think it's a good idea because you'll have
sprinting
people
from cover to
being
cover.
able to equip
This is what
a
you
huge,
could expect. You're
like,
going to sprint slower overall at the lower base, at
you
the
know,
lower
fill their
encumbrance
character with a load of
values,
RPGs,
but you're going to be going faster than you would have before.
sprint,
Under the new,
get to their
under
location,
the new
shoot off all
system.
Yeah,
their
it's
rockets
just
and
instead
run.
of
Yeah, it's I think it's
speed, you wanna
stupid.
get
Where
more
this changes
range
is in the second
for stamina.
graph here, which is
so weird.
over long distance. So remember in that first slide, I talked about how stamina is impacted by your encumbrance. So while it is that you are running faster or slower, depending on your encumbrance, the amount of speed that you're going to get over the long distance should be about the same as it is in live, because the more encumbered you are,
I have to test it out.
or sorry, the less encumbered you are, the farther you can sprint. So in the past, if you were at 0% encumbrance, you would sprint much faster. But in the new system, the less encumbrance at 0% encumbrance,
They should just have
you're not
two
going to run
GIFs
as fast,
here
but
showing
you will
the
be able
old
to sprint
version of it
further.
working and the new version of it working, and then people will be like,
yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of nuanced questions about how all this stuff
They should
works.
just show a couple of videos
answer them
demonstrating
in
it,
the
and then people would understand it
Q&A
easier rather
and
than trying to
on the
explain it.
Discord, the dev branch. Great.
Yeah. So the bottom line, the last thing I want to say, that's hopefully, if you didn't understand any of that, what I want you guys to understand is encumbrance affects how far you can sprint now, not your speed. All right, and then moving on, vehicle encumbrance. This has been changed to be much more similar to infantry. The ideal here is that you shouldn't really feel a difference for trucks. They should feel pretty much the same as they always have. We just changed that middle point, so how you get encumbered at the beginning and end, or in the middle. But most of you guys are either driving with a completely empty truck or a completely full truck, and you'll notice from this graph that it's exactly the same.
Vehicles that owe their maximum encumbrance will be unable
really
to tow trailers. Oh no, or it's probably tow support weapons. So that nerfs the Stygian.
So to calm any major concerns over logistics, it should overall be roughly a similar experience.
Yeah.
Really matter, to be honest.
So important, if you guys want to know more about the encumbrance system for both infantry or vehicles, the tooltips have been changed. So make sure you read those. That 0% to 100% number that's in the top right of your inventories, that is completely new. It's going to be deeply confusing for everybody who's been playing the game for a long time. But if you read the tooltip, it should be a little bit more clear.
And an important point is why
just have to play test it and get a feel for it, guys. I think
now is, I remember Max, we were discussing how this is happening now because the encumbrance system for infantry has changed. So we also needed to revisit the same thing for the vehicles to make sure that one wasn't heavily
it says
impacted
combat
and
vehicles will
the
be
other one-
linear, so that does mean they will.
not,
Well, when it
right?
says linear, I mean,
Yeah, we want it
I
to feel
take
the
that as
same
they will all
across the board. Right
gain
now,
mud
in the
at a
live game,
specific
these were
set
two
rate.
completely different encumbrance systems. Hard to tell how one worked and the other didn't. Now they should be much more unified. Everything should make
Pano, you're gonna have to
much more clear
you have
sense.
to wash
And
them
ideally,
down with
we shouldn't see too much of a change in
trucks. I mean,
actual
so fire
performance of the
trucks
vehicles
rather
needed to
are
adjust
going to be even
the
more
nuance.
partisaned after. You know, people are going to exploit and ult them even more because they have
Right,
even
moving
more
on to
utility
some,
now.
infantry-related user interface changes here.
Squad leader arrow range, nice.
Yeah, back to the exciting stuff. I've been waiting for this for years. That squad leader arrow finally points to where you need to go. So you can actually find your squad leader anywhere in the map.
That is amazing.
It was somewhat broken before, so people didn't really use it outside of like really close distance. But now you can actually find each other. So if you're looking for your squad, you can find them.
Yeah, it works across the entire region, whereas before it only worked around a small radius around your character. But it just as a side note, it still does not cross over regions. But as long as you're in the same region as your squad leader, you'll be able to see this.
Like that. That's basic.
This is something people have been asking for a
here
long
we go.
time. Is just a minor bit of aim assist to aim at trenches. This is I shouldn't use the word aim assist. It's an aim adjustment. All this does is that when your mouse
Finally.
cursor is over top of an enemy, the elevation will change slightly so that it can overcome that
Well
obstacle.
timed.
It's still going to be very
Mhm.
difficult to hit somebody in a trench. It's not like this is going to completely change how easy it is to kill somebody in a trench. It's just to avoid needing to aim at the back wall just to try to get the cursor just right. It'll still be very hard to hit these people, and somebody that's moving around in a trench, again, it's still going to be quite difficult. It just meant to smooth over this
What's that razor pop up then? I don't recognize
make it a
that.
little bit easier for newer players to get into combat. And map search, we just needed to do.
That is
for a while.
amazing. I really like that.
Yeah, we actually have a video for this, which
Oh,
I
awesome.
will
Map
bring up
search.
here.
That's kind of useful. Oh, here we go.
Underrated feature.
Nice.
Type in. So, oh, that's kind of a nice thing. So yeah, but people have no idea. This is good for new players. So anyone who's like, yo, I'm in this region, they can
Finally.
type it in. That's good.
Yay.
That's good for new players. That's
Yeah,
good.
good for you. Oh. Won't be searching no islands.
Even I get stuck at confused.
Great.
I love that we
Okay.
did a whole video for that feature. We knew it was that important.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the community has done an amazing job
Now
with
let me search for a Squad X.
various websites to that players can use, and you should continue to use them for the other functionality. But good to see that search is in the game now, and yeah, it's been something that should have been there for a while. Finally, happy to get that in here.
Wait. Players can create infantry loadouts that can be assembled on foot from the base level
Okay,
one click.
so
Oh my
item
god.
loadouts. This is again
Thank
another feature
God.
people have been asking for
Hooray.
for literally years. As I said in the previous slides, encumbrance is now a much
One
more
click,
important value.
also
and
grab all the
so
stuff
now
that
you
you
need to
want.
manage your kits a little bit
That's
more
amazing.
carefully.
Ugh.
So we've added a loadout option that you can go to a bunker and you can save your equipment loadout.
This is just
and
so
then
nice.
push a
If you
button
want
and
a
it'll
tank
pull
kit, you
that
want to.
loadout out. So you can be more consistently getting the kit you want without needing to find every single item.
Yeah, this will be speed things up and won't be make loadouts more
Great,
as
and we
tedious
also
putting
have
every
a
single
video
individual
for this
equipment. So
feature
that's
that I'll
really
bring
good.
up.
Nice. Oh, was there a video for it? Cool. Let's see it work.
Finally.
Because you probably want infantry loadout, partisan loadout, tanker loadout. Scout has been saved. Scout.
Nice.
Symbol loadout.
That is so amazing.
Yeah,
So it
nice.
automatically equips?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the whole
when
kit. You just save the kit
you
and then you
activate a
make it with
loadout,
what left.
it'll assemble
Wonder if
the
it does it
items in
reloaded.
sequence for you. Is that correct?
Yep,
Probably not.
not in a
knows?
specific sequence that will enable the loadout to work. So like it'll pull the uniform out first, for example, because it changes
Yeah.
your inventory.
Great. All right, let's move on to infantry.
Oh, here we go.
Anti-tank.
Oh,
And we're gonna
no.
do
Come
a
on,
little
Floss
intro
nerf,
video
Floss
here
nerf.
for this.
Fingers crossed.
No, I'm gonna be igni nerf maybe because of the shoulder fly. Way too OP.
Tank suppression.
Tank suppression? What?
Look at Greyhound model anti-tank rifle.
We have an ATR now.
Sniper rifle for the collies.
ATR
We get our own
sniper rifle.
ATR. Nice. Heavy storm rifle. Look at that. We get another anti-tank rifle. Oh my god.
Multiple.
So many different types of handheld AT. There we go.
Multiple grenades.
AT grenade launcher for the wardens. Do they really need
Holy
it?
Christ.
Really empowering the infantry this war.
Hang on, was that
Okay,
a
people are
grenade
very excited
launcher
about this AT rifle. I just want
for wardens?
I want to
Yeah.
get ahead of the curve here.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So we get that and a
We've
cut though.
changed
What the
AT
fuck?
rifles dramatically,
And,
so
and the new
don't
ATR.
get
But we
too
get two
excited.
ATRs.
But first, before we get into that, tank gunner accuracy. So one of the
fuck's
things that we
sake!
Changed
Hang on. Let's let him hear him out first.
tanks. So I want to go back to what I said originally. We have changed a lot of different things in this game that seem unrelated to the infantry update, but they are in fact very related because we needed to increase their space. One thing we've noted about tanks is that they tended to oppress infantry because they had perfect accuracy all the time. So all you were really giving away by shooting enemy infantry was the shell but there was no risk in not doing that. So tanks had a dominant role on the battlefield. Now they have
wait a second. Do we have
Yeah,
any
if you think
tanks?
Moving
Exactly.
issue. So you now need to be stationary with tanks
Do
to
we
get
have any
accuracy?
tanks
That makes sense,
Get
though. That's
fucking
fair
ammo on
enough.
It's important to manage your mobility. Some vehicles are going to be better at this than others, but
Yes.
you have to manage your
Buddy.
mobility.
Listen,
And you'll
I
need
think the
to,
main problem with tanks is you've got one person controlling 2 roles of
yeah,
it.
just manage your mobility, and you might not necessarily kill every infantryman, so you'll need supporting infantry or
So it's
machine
even
guns
more
mounted to the
important
gun,
to have
the
infantry
tank
support for
in order to
tanks
properly
now.
protect yourself.
And you need to be playing smart with tanks. Tank drivers are
Great,
now
and we'll
need
have a
to be.
little
This
video
makes the commander role even so much more important.
demonstrating.
And like the
Give our
communication between
tank
driver and gunner
accuracy
way
for
more
fuck's
important
sakes,
now.
then.
There we go. So that's the accuracy. Stationary looks pretty good.
Forced to use our tank with no MG, right?
Yep.
It might be a bit hard to see on stream, but
Yeah, you can see the reticule is a bit bigger. It's not a
boom is
huge difference,
changing
but it's not going to be
as the
pinpoint
vehicle
accurate.
is moving and as aim is being adjusted.
But I think
That's
I think that is for all tanks. That's probably a good change. I think when you think about it.
I don't like this.
Still make a difference because if you don't
Yeah,
hit
you might
them
notice
correct,
it's not a lot of
probably
bloom,
gonna
but
miss,
the balance is pending.
Yeah,
we need
true,
to get you
actually.
guys' feedback in
But I think as general principle, I think that's a good idea. It does barely
All
look
right,
bigger,
here's
but
those promised AT rifle changes that we talked about. AT rifles are getting a complete overhaul. They're going to work very differently from the way that they did previously. This affects all AT rifles. This is they cause a suppression on vehicles.
mitigated damage.
So now that tanks have stability, the AT rifles specifically target that accuracy. So if
They'll
you
no
have an
longer
AT rifle,
bounce
you're shooting
either
at an
now.
enemy tank, it will bloom
doesn't
their reticle,
bounce?
just like the machine
What?
guns do. So the machine guns bloom the reticles of enemy infantry. The AT rifles will bloom the reticles of enemy
Breaking
tanks
this
and
game
infantry.
more and more.
AT
The
rifles
last
will no
line is
longer
big
roll to
for AT
bounce.
rifles.
You don't have that.
Battle train's the way
They
to
don't.
go.
Oh, it no longer
Okay,
causes.
so-
They don't bounce.
Leaks on
They
large
just
ships.
always
Okay, so
deal
that nerfs
damage.
the AT rifles
This is something
and
that
ships.
is akin to the way machine guns damage structures. So, like how most small arms don't damage structures, machine guns do,
Subsystem.
but
That was
very
the main
little.
issue with AT
This is
rifle.
the same thing, but for tanks. The AT rifles will always damage tanks, but
Does
they
that
do
also
very
nerf
little.
the high?
Instead, they damage the vehicle's armor
The
hit
Highwayman?
points.
'Cause the
This will
Highwayman
make
uses
it
20
easier
mil.
for other tanks to get penetrating hits. So the heart of these changes is that AT rifles are a support weapon. They're not meant to kill enemy vehicles anymore. They're meant to suppress them and push them back, give infantry more space to move around, and give tanks less of a dominant role on that field. This is important for things like the subsystem damage or the leaks on large ships. These have in the past been predominantly used for breaking things or like tracking vehicles and causing holes. It's always been a little bit cheesy because of its fire rate was way higher than anything else that does this. So they no longer do that. Instead, they have this other
Because
supporting
tanks usually outrange an infantryman anyway.
Right, and we can
I don't get
have a
these
little
guys.
video clip demonstrating suppression.
Yo.
Boot on the floor.
Thank you.
Oh god, look how big the reticule gets. Oh my god. Whoa, dude, AT rifle. Wow. Wow.
Holy shit.
That's
Yeah,
dude.
scout
That's
tank with an
huge, man.
MG.
One guy with an AT rifle could fuck a tank.
Yeah, here are
Really.
the new AT rifles. So these are all produced at facilities.
Oh, the colonial one.
Um,
You notice how they showed ours with no MG?
yeah,
So the one
the-
with
this
the
one
MG,
shoots twice.
bet you
These
they shred
are
him.
crouch.
I was just gonna say some of the
sniper
thematic
rifle.
background for some of these are like
What?
The hungers for
heavy
enemy armor and
modifications of
flesh.
some of the existing
alike.
weapons that we've
Fucking hell.
seen. Some of them are brand new, like this one, but some of them are like thematically like
AT sniper sounds cool. Kills
kind of
infantry as
like-
well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, such as no, the slatterly I don't think is. I think that's the wrong description. But the Booker Greyhound, which was the first one, it is like a modification of the Booker storm rifle. So thematically,
So
so
I
there's a
wonder
bit of a theme with some of the weapons here.
Right. This is, I was
Zima.
referring to the storm rifle.
No, this
There might be an error in the
Armat.
description there.
I
but
think the description there is wrong, but
Fucking
that's
hell.
okay.
Zima.
Okay.
They have
Might
said
be
that was
facility
it. This
only.
rifle may
And
be
finally,
facility
the
only.
Colonial Light AT rifle.
Lovely.
Mm.
Which is a
3-round
burst
burst.
shot.
Modified
And finally,
dust.
we have this. Want to explain
You
this one,
can
Matt?
damage tanks still.
So they've got
Yeah,
a
the
fucking
wardens have been
cutler now,
lacking,
and they've got an hour and a...
AT
Grenade
weapon arsenal for a
turrets.
while. You guys have noticed the flask. This has been noted for a long time that the flask was extremely
That's
powerful.
it.
It's been changed, which you guys can read more about in the
You-
patch notes.
Finally.
But in order to do that, we needed to offer the we
Now
needed to
pride, little
improve
bitch,
the
you nerds.
warden.
But I missed that because
AT
everyone's
arsenal,
fucking
so this
talking. What
is-
would they say
this
then?
is one of those things.
Wait, what did they say? The nerf
Great.
flask?
I believe we're just
This
a
is a
few
new
minutes
flask,
behind
yeah.
schedule here.
Did they
Okay.
remove flasks? Wait, what happened? I missed that. What happened? Because everyone's
Long for you.
talking.
I believe it was
Insurance
the
facility.
fastest no
We have a
more, so
video
they get
that
a.
starts on this part.
free porno, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, we got the link to the patch notes factions, please. Infantry Homes Factory. hang
Right,
on.
more facility shit.
Oh, great.
Great transfer stations.
So to make the new
Transfer stations.
AT, you're gonna have to upgrade them. Dust in the facility.
Little tiny storage boxes. That's cool.
The new train cars.
Obviously. Was that AT rifle grenade
All right, let's get into it.
impact
Nice.
grenade,
This
or
is,
was it like a tremola?
This is going to be exciting for facility players, maybe not for everybody else. What's really exciting about this is that it is producing crates.
It's like a
of
tremola.
equipment.
Okay.
We have not been able to allow you to produce crates of equipment until now, which means that we can start to put more stuff into facilities.
Oh,
The
sick!
reason why we feel like this is a necessary thing
Current is
is
gonna be
because
super happy.
facilities have a limited number of things you can output. Essentially, you can produce tanks, and then
Mobile
some large
factories now?
items. But if you wanted to build a hyper-specialized
incendiary
facility, or
ammunition
you
for
were a
mortars!
solo who wanted to do something interesting in the backline, your options were pretty narrow in scope because all the big guys were just producing
Incendiary
everything
mortar
anyway,
rounds,
so
boys.
it almost felt pointless.
Incendiary
So we wanted to
mortar.
bring more stuff into facilities,
What?
and now we have that option.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Sure.
good. I
Great.
mean,
And just
Incinerary
to
rounds
touch on that
too.
point, you said that it's gonna start with. There's a starting point, and it's
This is
obviously
so
not going to be
fucking
everything.
weird.
It's just going to
basic
be a
infantry
couple of
equipment,
things
high
that are new.
volumes.
It's gonna be
But it's
fancy.
something
The
we
thing is
can
all the-
explore over time.
Sick.
Yeah,
Remortar
actually, something
round.
that might be
Jesus Christ.
exciting for a lot of players is the Small Arms Workshop modification. This is kind of like a player-built mass production factory. It produces very limited number of things in high volumes. Things like the AT rifle ammo, SMG ammo, mortar rounds. You can mass produce those now in a place that's not the MPF. But we'll see
Okay.
how this goes. This is a bit of an experiment. We're gonna see. We're gonna.
Still cool.
we'll see
You
how it
know,
goes.
more like people. You know, that's good. I still think it's a right step in the right direction. People are like being able to make their own
Stick
MPFs and
100
stuff.
fire
This is
The
mortars
basic
on a
stuff. That's
gunboat.
This is the accompanying small gauge car.
Does it work though?
That's
It's like,
alongside the
yeah.
other two
That's awesome.
similar cars.
Oh, nice.
And again, the transfer station.
What about making
It's a great
shirts?
version of the other transfer stations.
You only
that
kind of
we have
mentioned
already.
like basic
Anything of
ammunition.
note
You didn't
here,
say.
Max?
Did you say rifles? Like
Not
basic
really. There's a
rifles
few
and stuff as
nuanced
well.
mechanics with this. You're not going to be able to deliver a shipping container directly to a frontline fob. I'm just going to warn you about that right now. But other than that, it's pretty much what you expect. Say similar to the other transfer stations.
He hit him with the knife, the dagger, and it did shit. He hit him with the bat.
Oh mate, what did I miss?
Oh, shotgun.
Bloody him.
Shotgun is.
But if you've got a bayonet, surely it's still going to be better than
Dragonfly
using that.
shotgun.
What is
Point
the shotgun?
blank them with a shotgun. That should take someone down. Oh, the colonial one shots.
There's a one shot.
The one shots. And I was okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, after many years, we finally have been able to come back around to melee, and our
missed
goal
this. I
here was
disconnected
just
for
to
a
add
second.
a small amount of depth and skill to melee combat. And a lot of that involves blocking and stamina management to make it more interesting than just running around wildly with a bayonet.
And we get a
which
dagger and they get a
is
club.
Fun, but not the most
Oh, yeah.
interesting thing here. So the big new additions are melee weapons.
You can block?
Melee weapons
Oh!
for both factions.
Taking down for a quick attack. Is
we
that
have
block
the-
bayonets
yeah,
as
you
well?
can
Paper,
club.
scissors,
So you can bring out your
and
someone
there
rushing you
will
with a
be-
bayonet. You
Still
can
gonna
bring out
use-
your
still gonna
dagger
use
and
the
block with the
bayonet.
bayonet.
There's a quick attack, a block, and a charged attack. And you can read here how these three will function.
Breakthrough blocks.
And bayonets have also
Do you
had
think-
some changes.
I
They've been
think,
revisited,
what is it,
updated with the new
wow.
attacks.
Bayonets
But
cannot
unlike
block.
other weapons, they can't be used to block. And
Okay.
finally, a bit about knockdowns. If stamina is low, your character can be knocked down, which just creates a moment where you can go in for the killing blow. And yeah, that's mostly it for melee combat. It's something that we've been
Still cool. I've been
cognizant
wanting to see
to
some
make
proper.
more interesting. But
I'm
we
surprised they
obviously
still
don't
not
want
make
to
the
make
shovel
it
a
overpowered
melee
and
weapon,
Dog
though,
shit.
turn the
right?
game
They should
into
give the
anvil.
shovel a dual
So
you block
purpose.
we're
bullets?
hoping that we're going to get feedback from you guys in the dev branch
Yeah, okay.
where we can tune
No.
20 mil.
various attributes of these weapons. And
Can I block a 40 mil,
another small
please?
note is that we've taken the
No
opportunity here to
wonder.
update
I think they're going
sounds
to
on
get
a bunch
a
of
streamer to actually come in.
Yeah,
the
people should be able to block
games.
bayonets, but
So
bayonet
hopefully
users
it's
can't
an
block.
entire fresh coat of paint across the melee side of things. And like we said here, the colonial gets the infantry dagger, and it just as a side note related to gameplay, this looks really good with the officer uniform. And we also
Larpers.
have the raiding club, which looks good with
Mate, that club
the
looks
armor and
badass.
uniform.
Why do they have to
Not
say it
gameplay
looks
related,
good?
but
Why
in case
can't they
you care
just
about
make
that
it
sort
work
of thing.
better
Next
with
gonna
the
be on
officer?
fire.
They go well with those uniforms. We don't have anything specific here on the shotguns, Max, but maybe you can talk about the shotguns for a moment.
Sure. Yeah, we have been wanting to make changes to shotguns for so many years. One of the first things I did at this company was try to balance the shotguns. Was unable to do it given the mechanics that it had, and so we finally had a chance to come around and change their mechanics.
Okay.
I won't get
And?
into how it works, except suffice to say that stability is still important for it. It's not just a blanket hits everything in front of you weapon. So you'll still need to aim it. You'll still have to shoot, but it can hit multiple targets, and hopefully the new mechanics will feel fresh.
And it does have a longer
Well,
range.
shotguns
right?
did
I don't know
need
if
an
you mentioned that.
overhaul.
Yeah,
No one
well,
used them really.
longer range than it did before.
They used to be
for sure.
overpowered
Yeah.
for years, and then they nerfed them for
All right,
years.
let's
so.
move on to infantry battlegrounds here.
Infantry battlegrounds.
Basically an infantry update.
Basically.
That's what they said at the start.
What?
Fortification husks? Material mounted tripods, nice. That helps hold town halls and stuff like that. Anti-infantry mines! Oh, this is gonna be.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude. How are they gonna not make this griefable?
What?
They
Look
remo-
at that.
I like it.
How much?
I like it. I love it.
Wait, excuse me.
Yes.
Garrison,
we
look
have
at
that. Yes.
Anti-infantry mines, man. Let's see how they make that work.
most
Because they had them in the
interesting
game
thing in that
originally,
video
years ago,
are the two
even before
dev bases
2016.
we've made
They
there,
removed them
Max.
because they were the people who kept on
That's all we got to
trolling
talk
with them,
about are the dev
right?
bases.
Shows you how much you play your game.
Yeah, I was looking at that one there, and you can see the houses.
All
I'm
right.
like, why
I need a
wouldn't you
minesweeper
face
now
them
or
out
something?
from the long direction?
All garrison bunkers now have a husk. This is
How
more
enough?
significant than you guys might initially realize.
Yes, you-
Husks are tall. You'll see from that screenshot that they are big enough to conceal
be
infantry
rebuilt.
and give infantry more of a place to run around and be safe from.
I mean, this
you
is
know,
a bit of a builder
artillery and,
update. It makes it so
from
builders can
tanks.
rebuild their concrete stuff.
It's
easier.
significant because in the past you guys might have built lines and lines of defenses facing each other with the expectation that when the bunker in front dies, the bunker in behind will take over. But with these husks, the idea is to give you guys a reason to not build a bunker. So we've added
What?
those mines as you guys saw, and we've added these husks. So building a bunker in a bad position could be detrimental to the overall defense of, say, a larger
I like it.
fortification.
Howie Nurse.
We've
Yeah,
changed
how
the
it is.
rules on these on garrisons. So you are no longer prevented from placing an AI defense directly adjacent to another AI
Oh my
defense.
god.
We felt this was necessary because building defenses has become so nuanced that only a small number of people who dedicate themselves to figuring out all the weird quirks of the system were allowed to build bunkers. We wanted to give you guys the freedom back to be able to place the bunker you wanted to build, to
Yeah, if they're nerfing the
perform the role
fucking
you
hours,
wanted
they
to
need to
fill,
nerf this
as
fucking
opposed to just being forced
these big
into these
bugs.
small set of meta bunkers that you had
The thing is,
to
Yeah,
close.
they have to. If they don't,
But
then that's a
the
huge
trade-off
overstatement.
being that, you know, you want to be able to place bunkers and empty spaces for minefields and other things in order to create kill zones and more interesting bunker bases. We changed the howitzer garrison. I really want to expand on this because I know that the response to this is going to be scary.
Scary. What?
Scary.
Artillery garrisons will
Negative
only
is what he's
engage
saying.
once, or sorry, will only return fire for each artillery shell. So if you have 4 artillery garrisons in the same bunker, and you hit it with 1 artillery shell, only one artillery garrison will return fire.
Oh my god,
at
Howie
first.
traps are dead.
And when you hit it a
Yeah,
second
Howie
time,
traps are not
the
gonna be good.
second one will aggress, and then I hit it a third time, and the third one will aggress, and so on. You cannot place 2 different artillery bunkers close to each other and hope that the splash will hit both and then engage 2 artillery bunkers at the same time. Each artillery shell will only initiate 1 artillery response. So why I feel like this is really important is this is not a nerf, or this is not a buff to artillery. It's a nerf to artillery traps, for those who know what that is.
A buff to artillery?
It's just specifically intended to prevent those overreactions where you accidentally hit a bunker once and suddenly you're getting splashed by 10 different howitzer garrisons. But if you are doing a concerted artillery op to attack a bunker, it's not going to make any difference. If you're planning to hit the bunker more than 4 times, then the bunker will respond with all of its
It's much easier to brute force.
It's not a large
Howie
shield
shot
buff
now.
because you're going to be hitting it hundreds of times. All the howitzer garrisons are going to engage pretty much immediately.
If you hit the
Just
bunker
really want to
100
make that
times,
clear.
it's dead.
It's not a buff to artillery in any way.
It
It's
is a
just
buff to artillery.
accidental hits
KFC.
from
It will
basically
be.
wiping
It will
out
be a buff to artillery because they're less likely to get killed due to retaliation, so they can keep firing for longer and kill the concrete. How is that not a buff to 150s, 120s, and SPGs?
The big change here is you can put havoc charges in buildings now, which was an oversight that's been there for a long time. Tripod weapons can be placed inside, so you can put them, facing out of windows. It doesn't currently work for the fire ports in the forts, but we'll come back around to that.
If they do this, they kind of need to revert the Howie integrity nerf.
Next to each
yeah,
other,
to make Howies a bit more
Oh,
durable
yeah.
then. Concrete Howies to make up for that fact.
Yep. They won't daisy chain, but you can have multiple beside each other and not have them kill each other.
Nerf, I guess.
Okay, here we go. Infantry mine. Let's see what they're doing here.
Minefields. An anti-infantry mine. You can place it. We changed how you can place these, by the way. This and the tank mine. You now push B to place it, similar to the tripod. You don't just click. That was a bit of a weird one-off mechanic. You just needed to know. So now you push B and you place it just like a tripod. But it still goes in all the places you can put it. You can put it on bridges, on roads, and whatnot.
Okay, how do players connect to...
What you can alternately do is put them into minefields. So infantry mines and tank mines, using a shovel, you can dig out like a minefield, and then you can upgrade that using these new mines into a minefield. And this has a couple of benefits. Firstly, a minefield cannot be wrenched. You have to blow them up with high explosive or demolition damage.
That's good.
Secondly, they'll be hidden outside of 35 meters away. So if you're, for example, an artillery spotter and you're trying to knock down an enemy bunker base, you're standing hundreds of meters away and you're calling in the artillery, you're killing the bunkers, but you're not seeing the mines. The mines are hidden from you. So these mines are meant to be like an alternate defense that's more, even though they're vulnerable to artillery damage, they're meant to be invisible to them. So you might, even if you knew the minefield was there, you might not be able to clear them all, at least not without getting close.
Pairing the minefield using bases replenish mines.
You'll also be able to use them to block areas of the map where you might not necessarily want to build an AI defense. In the past, you guys would have to build these big sprawling defenses to, like, say, plug a hole in the bulwark. Now you can just place these minefields.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
You won't need to wait for a bunker tech or anything. You can place a minefield just to stop partisans from getting through. Or you might want to make them permanent.
Could you go around and in between those mines? How big is the
using BMAS and a hammer, just like any other structure? You can walk up to these and repair them, and repairing them regenerates those mines. So if you know, partisans are trying to clear a path through your minefield to
This is
get
a
to the
farm
rear line
buff.
by just running in and dying, you could just walk up with a hammer and B-mats, repair all the structures, and the mines come back. Similarly, they'll be repaired by maintenance supplies, because maintenance supplies, as you guys know,
Oh,
repairs at
nice.
1%.
Maintenance supplies.
Whenever every time the maintenance supply is consumed. So even if you just place a minefield and then support it with maintenance supplies and then leave it alone, random infantry are not going to negate the minefield. They're going to walk in, they'll die, and then over time the maintenance supplies will regenerate the minefield. So minefields can be more of a permanent structure that you can leave in the world.
So it's a lot more
Some
like an
gum.
AI defense now.
Gonna be mine
Yeah,
spam.
In some ways.
It's it's sort of
I-
halfway
I-
between
I
a
don't
field
think
defense,
that's,
which is like
they're
the
gonna
tank
consume
traps
one
and
stuff.
mines that you
That's-
place on the
that's
ground,
Yeah.
and an actual AI
Only if
defense. It's
destroyed.
somewhere in the middle there.
I think.
And we'll have a
Be more obvious to figure out where mines are if they can only be built in that kind of specific field now.
No, you can place them independently, I think.
You can place them independently,
What-
but they're less
what is
effective.
this? What
Yeah.
is this?
What's this?
That's a minefield.
Yeah, it's the blueprint, and then you upgrade it.
Fine.
Interesting.
We need 10 on
Now
you.
you gotta dig to set the mine.
Can you imagine like people setting up RSC bases now? It's gonna be crazy.
Our AP mines gonna go off when friendly step on.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm curious about
Yeah.
What's the radius of the anti-infantry mine as well? Could you still get through it, or will it blow up even if you don't retouch it?
If you have like 5 people walking
I'd have
on
thought
it,
you'd have to
it's a
touch one of
good
them.
order.
All right. So again, I want to reiterate the big change that we made here is that there should be reason for you to not place a bunker. Bunkers were historically the best way to defend an area by just spamming as many of them as you possibly could. What we're really hoping to see from this change is to give you guys more real. The meta for building bunkers should be more realistic looking front lines, not just sprawling concrete mega bases everywhere. The big critical change again, that these bunkers, when destroyed, will leave behind a husk that's hard to remove and will block line of sight to AI defenses behind them. So just spamming bunkers shouldn't make sense anymore. Having minefields to replace those empty spaces where you might not necessarily want to put a bunker. We're going for something like in these screenshots. We're hoping that this sort of thing will seem reasonable, even if it's not perfect. And yeah, we're anxious to see what you guys do. For your dev branch feedback, focus when you talk about these defensive stuff, talk about what you guys think you will actually build in the live game and the reasons why. That will help us the most for determining balance around these
Cutler's and
Don't
Artie
like
are
this.
fucking are ruining everything.
Oh,
All
medic.
right.
And
We
they're
gotta
getting
move this
buffed, I
along,
guess.
but we got the medic update
Medic
and
update.
another thing after that to
More
talk
stuff,
about.
boys?
Killing their game slowly.
But steadily.
Hospital revamp. Where you take critically wounded now out of the hospital.
What?
Well, and then you got to take him into a city. A city hospital for sure. Well, then that just makes there's no one's going to do it then.
Yep.
You got transfer. What the
Medical
fuck?
tents do not operate no more. Just holds the.
No one's going to do this. There's hardly any hospitals in the game.
Yeah.
One per region.
They'll
Hang
increase
on.
them. Oh my god.
This is good. Bunkers. I can see that working, maybe.
I literally thought about this.
All right, the big change. So,
Structural
partisans.
integrity.
I know partisans have been hurting for a long time, and this might not necessarily be the thing you've always wanted, but the big change
let's
to
just
medics
spawn up
is that
medical
you can
structures.
spawn at a field hospital now.
Ooh,
Instead of
it's quite
converting them to
squishy. It's
soldier
very
supplies.
squishy,
So when you
but
return a wounded soldier to a field station, you can set your spawn and just spawn there in place of creating a soldier supply. So this is the first time you'll be able to build a spawn point that doesn't require a CV. So maybe partisans might find a use for this by finding a sneaky backline area they could set up a little base at,
recovered
and they might be able to
critical
operate out of there
converted to soldier
indefinitely
supplies.
if they're careful with returning their wounded soldiers to the back.
Is
We've added more states for critical wounded soldiers, so it should happen more often now. To be more opportunities to return them. And the big change here is we've changed the amount of soldier supplies you get is dependent on the structure that you return your
okay, that's
patient
good.
to.
That makes it more worthwhile.
So field
to deliver
hospitals
to
won't produce as many soldier supplies as they did in the
hospital.
past.
Oh,
Actually, it
so
might
they
be the
still
same.
produce,
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But you can take that wounded soldier out of that field hospital and deliver him to a hospital at a town, for example, and get a lot more soldier supplies than you ever did before. So
Okay, that makes
this,
sense.
we're hoping, will create a logi player loop where if you're noticing your
depends on how
frontline
much,
field
though.
hospitals
If
are
it's
getting
30
full of
shots, I'll do
soldiers,
it.
wounded soldiers, it might be a wise
It's
idea
not
to
good,
start
it's just
pulling
that
those
much.
out and delivering them to a
Who
real life
knows? It's that much.
hospital to get more soldier supplies. It also means that these hospitals will act
Stockpile for
as
medical
impromptu
related
or de
items,
facto
nice.
spawn points in defensive cities. If a hospital has,
okay, this is kinda
if-
nice.
presumably a hospital will be getting
Okay,
a lot of
I think
wounded
it's
soldiers,
alright.
and they'll be pumping out a ton of respawns that you could potentially not turn back into soldier supplies, which means that these
I
hospitals
think this,
are
yeah, Girth, let's not be hard.
reasonably
It's not
vulnerable,
dumb.
but
It's
interesting locations.
It's not
spawn
something
points.
that I would consider as a must-have kind of adjustment needed in Foxhole right now, but it's a nice addition to the game.
Yeah, the
you know,
thing
it makes
that excites
it
me
because
is
a lot of people like playing as a medic and
adding
role playing as a medic,
a lot
and it's
more
making a medic
value
role more
to
valuable.
the
It is a bit of
ambulance
luck,
at the
but
town
hang on,
hospital
Girth, you don't know. You're a
and
shirt
having a
guy.
reason to
You might
actually
turn into a
bring,
medic guy if you can figure out like
Yeah,
one
there's some
one
people
critically
doing
wounded
it.
guy, you bring him
So
back to a proper
I'm
hospital,
personally really
and
excited
you get
about
like
this
I don't know 20 shirts per the dude or something. It might actually be worth doing it. You know, so give it a second.
And of course, a medical bunker. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Off my ass. Those guys don't even
So
do that.
is this the equivalent to a field field hospital? Is that correct?
Yeah, but slightly better, slightly more important, I guess. The one difference here is that they do require bunker tech, so you need to get the bunker tech that used to require that used to give you the observation bunker will now instead give you this as well. And also, I think it's easier to get both of these so that it happens a little bit earlier. But
Okay,
again,
that's good.
the idea
Observation
behind
technique
this
is
is
nice.
that you can put a bunker here that's relatively resistant somewhere where you think that a lot of fighting will happen, and people can use this as a spawn point.
Yeah, I think this is good. I think having medical bunkers, medical
might be an
in
interesting
bunkers
thing
is
to
really
incorporate
big
into your
because
defensive lines.
field hospitals are incredibly squishy.
Right,
Like
right.
one
Let's
tank
move
round
on to
kills it, or a couple of
fire
mammoths
portion
kills
here.
a normal field hospital. So
Right.
this is a nice addition.
Ooh,
I think that's
Norwich.
definitely very good. What's next?
Talking vehicles.
Great.
Please give us
Oh, what an
the
ugly
Nemesis. Oh,
fuck?
yo, what is
It
this?
looks like shit, literally.
Yo, what is this?
Grenade launcher! Grenade launcher!
Fires. What's a fire?
What is this? Is that a 94.5 gun?
Yeah, that was an ace.
The Gallagher Brigand? Oh, they got a pencil machine gunner now. Blood tender. Oh, it's a medical hospital.
crime.
That's kind of cool. I like that. That's nice.
Oh, we get one tank and they get two. Go fuck yourself, Foxhole.
No, they changed the gunner, didn't they?
All right, there's not much to say about these tanks. I think
Oh
you
my
guys can
god,
see
it's a
and tell
30 mil
exactly what they
repeater
are.
cannon.
This is
30
the
mil now.
Wardens. They're getting
Cannon.
another.
And it's got 12-7.
The base vehicle for the outlaw. So this is the vehicle that the outlaw is going to have to be
How
built
big is
from.
its
So you're gonna have to
magazine?
bring this vehicle to the facilities in order to get an outlaw.
Ooh.
And I think it's important to note that all of the variants from this base vehicle have been changed. Right, one of them is an AT rifle, for example. You guys know that one's going to see some significant changes. The other two have also been changed. The outlaw and the I can't remember the name of it right now.
What? So that's replacing the outlaw?
The one with the
Yes!
launcher.
Oh, that's good then.
Tanks in the game.
That'll
now.
know. So, yeah.
We have to go to the
Uh,
facility to
step
get
out,
an
you know.
outlaw.
It's important.
They
So
were base tank.
we. Okay, yeah. Actually, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a
And this
Puma.
one is pretty much what you guys see. It's a base
60
vehicle, but it doesn't
68.
have any
Looks
variants
like a shitty
yet.
Puma.
The balance between these two new tanks
Looks like
is
an
that
armored
the
car.
Warden vehicle is
Yeah,
What's
no.
the range?
a
This
case
is
where
gonna come
the
out when the
Warden tank lineup
ADHD comes out, I
has
bet.
more stuff that needs to go into
Probably.
facilities in order to get your
This might be
vehicles.
similar to
And the Colonials
It's an
have the
assault tank,
opposite.
it's not
They're
an armored
putting more
car.
stuff into the base vehicle stuff that you guys can build because there has been an
Is this the thing
unintended,
that I'm looking for? Is this our
asymmetry
45
there, where
mil?
The Colonials were more dependent on facilities than Wardens. Now it should be a little more
Is this
balanced.
our Is this our medium tank destroyer? Please be.
Right, here's
If it's
Yeah,
And
the
we'll,
view here.
and we'll put out some of these renders.
It looks
I
more
think.
like an armored car.
yeah, yeah.
Since
we're-
we're kind of shuffling through them.
What's
was
the
the
range? You
range?
need to know the range. Hopefully it's
And
40.
this is just a cool
45,
hospital
probably
train.
hope
This
it's
will
45.
be like the hospital
No,
is going to be an extremely powerful way
maybe
to
40,
get soldier supplies. You
maybe
can spawn
35.
at
It'd be the
this,
same as the
similar
ATH
to a
That's all I'm
to
That
all
is
the other
40, I
medical
think.
Conditioning
camps.
train has
So
been specifically.
like
That
this
sticks
is
out
all
more at the
spawn
front, though,
point
doesn't it?
that
Don't the
as long as you're
ATHD
bringing wounded
fucking
soldiers to it, you
just
can
like
spawn here.
reach
That
the
So
bonnet?
tanks
this
will
will be
last
one of
you.
those
Maybe
end game
Is
vehicles, long range artillery cannon. That's available to both
what was
factions.
it? 40 mil. What was it? The
Oh, it's a
heavy
fucking spawn
AC
point.
Oh, was it spawn point? Dude, it looks cool. It looks
The
fucking
heavy
sick, that
AC,
train. Doesn't it? I'm glad. Yeah, it looks
not
really
that
cool.
Good. It's
All right.
for not. I doubt it will have 40 meters range.
Well, that's it for the infantry update. It arrives on November the 18th.
Wait.
The war start will happen on that date as well. There's a couple of other things in the schedule I want to go through. We're gonna do a
Fuck me, that's a
Reddit
big break.
Q&A after this, as we usually do for these large
I'm
updates.
glad it wasn't planes and they worked on other important
we'll
stuff. So I'm
hop in there and
happy.
get that
Though I
up
still wanted progression.
shortly after,
Still
and
no,
we'll be happy to answer any
progression
questions.
news, sadly.
That
But
branch
When is the
opens
war start?
today. It will be phased.
The 18th.
Assuming everything
Okay,
goes according to
finally.
plan.
Jesus Christ! I thought
I need to read the
There's
patch notes
last-minute
right now.
setbacks, as you guys have experienced in the past.
Where's
but
the patch
plan
notes?
is to get out there this afternoon. November 13th will be the pre-patch war. That's when we apply an initial update to test out the new build in a real world setting. That'll happen on 13th, and then finally the release date will be November 18th. So November 18th will be the day when you can play the infantry update and when the war will start. Now, before we end this, there is one more cool thing we have to show.
So
One more
you basically got a beat
We've been working
fucking
on
buff
something
then
else for
with that
Foxhole
outlaw change.
that we want to give you guys an early
the last
sneak
thing
peek
they're
on. So without further ado, here it is.
Is it planes? Is it planes? It's going to be planes, isn't it? Stand by. It's going to be planes. It's going to be planes. It's going to be planes. I'm going to call it. Stand by.
But it's a map change.
Oh, wait. Is this? Planes! Fucking knew it!
Is that a
Knew it! I knew it!
Playing.
No shot.
It's fucking planes! I fucking knew it!
Bomber and fighters. Holy shit!
Yo! Whoa! Bombing runs! Oh! That's actually pretty sick. Oh, dude, how's? Yo!
Oh mate, the lag. It's gonna be great.
Oh my god! Oh, dude, bombing fucking!
Oh, we can shit on fucking boats, mate. Alright, I'm on this. I get it now.
Yeah, shit on the boats, man. That'd be good. That's. Yo! Every player's a player. Paratroopers! Holy shit, that's so sick.
Paratroopers?
Yo!
What?
Oh,
I'm not
whoa! Yo! Okay, that's actually sick.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Whoa! Whoa!
I don't know how the servers can handle it.
That would probably be late game, right?
Foxhole Airborne. So yeah, this is the first time we've announced two big updates in one stream. So it is.
I had a feeling it would be something to do with planes, man.
Foxhole Airborne is the next big thing, big chapter,
What is it?
big whatever you want to
Fourth
call
element.
it for
What was it?
Foxhole.
The last element is here now.
As you know, we have land and naval. And
Is there any
now
point
we're
of
gonna
building
be
bases now?
bringing air warfare.
Everyone's getting fucking blown to shit.
Foxhole. I'm sure everyone's going to have
I
a
think
lot of
was it
questions
the
about
tactics
this,
they
and
faster though.
There'll probably be
but
anti-air
most of the details
garrisons
we're
and
going to
stuff
leave
as well now,
for
I'd
next
imagine.
year.
Yeah.
The focus
But
in the
also
coming weeks
EMGs will
and,
probably be able to shoot
is
down
gonna be
planes because
on
they look like
the
anti-aircraft
infantry update.
guns as well. So they'll have
But we
a
just did want to give you
makes
guys an
sense.
early
Yeah,
look
it's
at
like a
this.
reroll
But there
cover.
is a few things we can
They're gonna add
touch
like
upon.
what was it the
Sort of the big
stronger like
questions.
what was it MG to
Air
counter
warfare will
planes like
exist
that? I
alongside
think.
naval and ground in the same sandbox. So you will be flying planes around in the same map and interacting with players on the ground. Every player will all just sort of be in the same place. Planes will be piloted by players. And yes, you will be able to paradrop out of planes, which are also driven by players behind enemy lines. So yeah, those are the
Where are we gonna
big
put the airfields
parts of
at?
this that we could talk about today. And I want to mention that the content you saw in the trailer is only a sneak peek of what's coming. So
Yeah.
there will be more
So you've
features
got-
and content for both factions.
There's like some
when
dogfighting as
the
well
update
going on
comes.
as well in there,
So
which
if you
is
didn't
cool.
see something for your faction, don't worry. There's a lot more to come, and we don't want to start any
Kamikaze into play.
controversies over why.
So that's
one
actually,
side
you know,
didn't get what,
okay,
at least
initially I
yet.
was saying
It's a
because I thought
preview
they
trailer. You
wouldn't
know,
be
it's
that
one of the first
great.
times we're kind of doing
But it looks like
like a
they're properly
preview trailer.
doing
We
every
wanted to show
aspect
you
of
guys
it.
kind of what we've been working on. One of the kind of some
I
of the
thought it'd just be
exciting
kind of
things.
a gimmick.
And I think I've said for years that I don't really
But-
think that Foxhole is
Jack.
complete without.
Thanks very much,
Yeah.
man.
To me,
Yeah.
it's always been a necessity. It's something that's so indicative of this particular era that we're inspired by with warfare, and I think it's going to be like
Analyze every
a
yeah,
really,
same. I
really
want to go
cool
back and watch
addition.
that.
And some of the stuff that we've seen internally is like crazy.
So guys, that's the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did and want more content, check up over here and over here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, make sure to click the button down here. To catch you in the next video, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.